Hi, Kenneth. Thank you so much for doing this today.
Bother.
Um, as I mentioned just before we started recording, I do think it will help so many people just to hear your honest, transparent story, how this all started, kind of what you've done, what you came across along that journey, what's really helped you, and where you are today, if that's okay with you.
Fine, yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, well, let's just start with what was your tinnitus like when it first started? Do you know what caused it? Take me back to the beginning.
Um, I've no idea what caused it. I've got my own theories and stuff, but I don't know. It was pretty bad. Yeah, it was something that's new. It was new, and it was yeah, it was. I wouldn't like to know how high it was, but it was just, it was bad. It felt bad to me because it was something that was new, and it was stopping me sleeping, and it was just affecting my days.
Yeah, yeah. So you say that it was affecting your sleep, affecting your day. What could you maybe elaborate a little bit on how it was affecting your day? Were you working at the time?
Well, it was actually in the Christmas holidays. Uh, well, just before that, so actually, so but mainly in the holidays and stuff. Well, well, I couldn't sleep at all when I first got it. So that was one thing. I couldn't sleep at all, and then so that was obviously a big problem for the day. And then during the day, I'd be eating it, but I was more concerned about the not sleeping. That was at the back of my mind all the time. That I haven't slept, and will I sleep tonight? I didn't think I would sleep later on, so that was affecting my day. And that was the main problem, as much as heating it. But obviously, during the day, things can drown it out. But it was mainly the thought of it about sleeping was the problem, I would say, at the start.
Yeah, I mean, we know that a lot of people really struggle, especially at the beginning with their sleep and tinnitus. And like you say, it's that dread about the night time. Will I sleep? What if I don't sleep? How am I going to function?
Yeah.
Was there anything that you tried to help yourself with sleep? Was there anything you were doing or taking to try and help yourself there?
Well, yeah. Well, I went to the doctor initially, and they were reluctant to, but they gave me sleeping tablets. I didn't understand what at the time. I didn't. I'd never taken tablets before, so I didn't understand why they were so reluctant. I didn't, but and I understand now. But they didn't want to give me sleeping tablets at all, really. But they did give me them, and they were giving me them every so often with the sort of warnings about them. But they weren't doing that much, to be honest. They didn't work as well as I thought they would for sleeping. But that was mainly what I was doing. I'd never thought about sleep before that. So I slept very easily. So I never thought about it. So I didn't know practices to do to get to sleep. So all I thought was just, I'll take these sleeping tablets and that'll help me. So that was all I was doing basically to fall asleep.
Yeah. Kenneth, I think we should really highlight what you just said there as well, where you never had issues with sleep prior to this.
Yeah.
You slept pretty well, actually.
Yeah. Sleep was perfect before this. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
That must have been quite overwhelming at the time, you know.
Yeah. 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 Yeah, I'm sure that was like huge. Yeah, it was like that was definitely the biggest thing I would say. Yeah, if I was sleeping perfectly, then yeah, I wouldn't have noticed it so much. I wouldn't have thought about it so much. So sleep, yeah, that was a huge change.
So you mentioned going to the GP, getting these tablets reluctantly.
Yeah.
There anything else that you tried or that you did, or was there anything else at the beginning stages that you did that can maybe resonate with other people that are watching this? Was there anywhere else that you sought information from or
About the tinnitus itself.
yeah.
Um, there's not at the beginning. There's probably nothing I could say that I did that would help anyone. To be honest, at the beginning, I was going online. I wasn't going on forums. I've never done that. But I was going online, just typing in to Google and looking up research and stuff. I was probably reading fairly reputable research. I know what is good and what's bad, so I was reading fairly reputable stuff. But it didn't help me any, really. Um, well, yeah, I wasn't doing much. The longer I went on, the more I sort of homed in on things that might work. I ended up obviously talking to you. So yeah, at the start, initially, no, I wasn't doing much. I wouldn't say I was doing anything that would help. And it didn't get any better. So that's that explains it.
Kenneth, I think that'd be, really useful to know what maybe you would advise someone not to do, what wasn't helpful.
What wouldn't I do? I wouldn't. Well, now I know what I wouldn't panic. I certainly wouldn't go on forums, and I certainly wouldn't listen to people who've already got it. I wouldn't go on YouTube and watch people who have it. I wouldn't do any of that. Uh, what else? I'm trying to think well, I was just panicking a lot at the start and wondering what it could be and wondering what caused it. Going on Google and yeah, none of that helped. I mean, I know other people go on forums that definitely don't do that. Um, that's yeah, that's the main thing. There's little things like that I was doing, and they weren't helping at all.
Absolutely. And I can understand why you went on it and why a lot of people, maybe even watching this, might think, but where do I go? Well, why is he recommending not to go on these forums or not to maybe listen to people? What is
Yeah.
it that you think people need to be not worried, but aware of?
Well, so there's no good news on these forums. So the one thing that might be you told me, people who do get better and they don't talk about it. They don't go online and talk about it. They just get on with their lives and they don't want to think about it. So they don't go on. Maybe they should, but they don't go on to tell people that there's hope. Um, so yeah, there's nothing really good on that you're going to find on forums or online. Well, there's stuff good online, but nothing about from individuals really online. You've got it. They're not there talking about it if they've had success or they've improved their lives. It's just all doom and gloom. I think that's fairly well established now.
For sure. No, I agree with you. I agree with you, especially with the part where you say maybe they should, but actually they're just living their lives, right?
Yeah,
They've moved on, haven't they?
yeah, they moved on. Yeah.
Well, what made you sought help then? What made you decide that actually I've got to do something about this now?
As I say, I suppose initially I thought it was going to go away. I mean, quickly. I was like, so it took me a while to sort of accept that it's not going to go away. So at the start, yeah, I was just going to the doctor, talking to the doctor. They were nice, but they didn't GP. They weren't really offering anything. They recommended me to an ENT. I'm in Scotland. I still haven't got that. Still haven't got that was probably January or February something and I still haven't got the appointment. So so that's all they basically did they said we can let you see an ENT, but I still haven't seen that. So I was going to the doctor. Oh yeah, and then wasn't getting anywhere. Yeah, I was thinking I was going to get better. I was hoping it was going to it was going to slowly just go away, but it wasn't. So a few months had passed, and I realised I had to get help with the tinnitus itself. I mean, I couldn't just hope it was going to go away and try and do things to make it go away. I had to get help with the actual tinnitus itself. So that's why I sought help.
Amazing. And what were you unsure or worried about before kind of deciding to go down the path that you did go down with help?
What was I unsure or worried about? Not a lot, to be honest. I was willing to try anything. I was willing to try anything to help. We're talking about you. I'd seen you on TV and in the paper, so I knew you were I knew you were reputable yourself. So I wasn't particularly worried about anything. Maybe even not working, but I wasn't worried about anything of going down that route. I was open to anything.
Yeah. So I guess from what you're saying in terms of trying to find somebody who's reputable, somebody where actually you've seen maybe them speak or see them, talk about tinnitus, and then really being ready to just try something to help you get better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kenneth, I'm sure you've seen as well, there's a lot online about people saying nothing works. How did you navigate seeing things like that, but still feeling safe enough to take that first step?
No, right. Well, I don't know. I suppose most. Well, I've seen you saying that stuff did help. I've seen a few others that said the same kind of thing. That doctors online that said there is hope, and I knew about CBT and stuff like that. So I had hope that there. I had to hope, but I'd seen people talk about how they had improved and how they'd used techniques to get better and things. So I just yeah, I believe there was a way.
Amazing. And if you were to just share a little bit about what you learned or what skills or daily habits helped you the most, really.
Well, I suppose initially it was when I first came to you, sleep was a big problem, and during the day thinking about it. So um, during the day, I remember at the start you got me to breathe and stuff. That was a take time, and I did that. The breathe in, hold your breath, breathe out thing. What's it in this? What number? What's the number again? I don't know why.
Okay, maybe it was a 478 with
Four
you.
seven eight. Sorry, yeah,
Yeah.
doing that quite a lot at the start, and I was taking time to breathe and settle my mind a lot. And I was remembering what you were telling me. It's like it's not the tinnitus itself is not a threat. That was a big thing to sort of work out in my mind that it's not a threat. It's not. It's the perception of it that's that's damaging you, not the actual tinnitus itself. Um, and my mornings were bad, and I remember you told me to go outside and get the sunlight, so I was going out religiously in the mornings. So my mornings were slowly getting better because I was lying in bed. I was like not sleeping much, and then I'd be well, if I was sleeping at all, but I'd be getting up early, but I'd be lying in bed just to the last minute before I go to work, 20 minutes before, um, just sort of lying in my room, sort of my bed, unhappy, you know what I mean? I wasn't. And you told me to get up. I need to get up. I needed to take control and not let cause tinnitus was like it was obviously affect it was had control of me. Yeah, it was like keeping me in bed when I wouldn't be in bed, just like dreading the day. And then so I was getting up itself, getting outside early, getting the sunlight obviously up, but just getting up and about, getting on my day, um, using the breathing techniques. These things slowly started to help me.
I think also, Kenneth, before tinnitus, you were very much outside, and mood wise, I remember you saying to me about how, you didn't really struggle with low mood, you'd be up,
No,
out, outside, biking, doing the things that you love. And sounds like tinnitus really robbed that from you for like for a period of time.
I totally did. Yeah, I was cycling, a big cycle. I was cycling every 2 days at least. Maybe it's too much, but I was cycling all the time, and tinnitus just stopped that completely for me. I just, yeah, tinnitus itself wouldn't have bothered me when I started cycling, but just the thought that I had it was like putting me off cycling. But well, even now, I've started at the start of what are we now? The start of November because I was cycling a bit outside, but not as much. I was starting lately, but the weather was so bad. But I put my trainer back on at the start of November, and I've been cycling every second day indoor since the start of November. I never thought I would do that again. To be honest, I never thought I would. I never thought I'd have the motivation to do it. But I started. I'm doing. I'll be cycling tonight indoor. So
Incredible. And
yeah,
kind of this is news to me. That's why I'm
yeah,
smiling so much. So I'm so pleased to hear that, you've got that motivation to do that again, because I know that was a big thing for you.
yeah. Well, that was the main thing that I wasn't doing because I was still working. I didn't miss any work. I managed to, but it was hard. But I managed to play through that. I was still socializing, but the main thing that I wasn't doing that I did before was the cycling. That was the main, and that was a big part of my life. So that in itself, I was thinking all the time about not only that did I not want to cycle, but I was thinking I'm not cycling. It's got control of me as well. That's stopped me cycling. So that was thinking about that was a big problem as well. I remember you telling me to get back on the bike, but it wasn't as easy as, especially with the weather. I didn't have my turbo trainer set up at that point, so it wasn't quite as easy as just getting back on up in the Highlands of Scotland. But I've managed to now. Yeah, I've managed to get back on it, and feeling pretty good. Obviously, that gives me a good feeling being on the bike.
Brilliant. It's brilliant because a lot of people as well, they'll work, they'll still work. They might socialize here and there and they think, okay, well, I just have to live like this, but they don't really look at the things that bring us joy that we let go of. We think, okay, well, I have to work, I've got to make a living. But actually, it's
Yeah,
those things that really bring us joy that if tinnitus takes that away, it still has that level of control over us,
yeah.
really.
Yeah, totally. I would say that's one thing that I've got. Yeah, if tennis can get control of you, you've got to try and take control of your own life. That's a big step forward. And I was thinking one of the things I was going to ask about this, but you told me to. Well, we talked about a decibel meter, and that isn't really. Well, I took it to the pub, and that showed me. This is sort of a different point, but that showed me the level of noise in a pub is quite often quite dangerous. But knowing that and having has given me more control as well. It's given me control and given me control of my hearing and feeling that's given me quite a lot of empowerment. I was in the pub a few weeks ago, and there was music on, and I knew the level would be above 85, and I thought I'm the only one here that knows that. I mean, there was people like sitting like right under the speaker. There was a couple of speakers. I was as far away as possible as I could be. They were right under the speakers. You know what I mean? I'm thinking, never mind tinnitus. They're doing damage to their hearing. They're oblivious. They've never had any problems. They don't know yet, but they're doing. So me having that control about that has helped me as well. Having that knowledge.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think you use the word feeling empowered, just being able to have that knowledge to be able to protect your hearing and preserve your hearing. We can't afford to be ignorant to it anymore. We know what can happen. So just knowing that you have that level of control is yeah, so empowering.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's one of the big. Yeah, that's one thing I've learned. And one thing, even watching TV. I was watching this guy in a gig the other day online, and they were playing the music loud on stage, and everyone was jumping about. And I was just thinking, no one there. Maybe some do, but I can't see them. But maybe no one there has got earplugs. No one, I would definitely, if I was there, I would at 100% have earplugs. Not because of the tinnitus, but because now I know that it's dangerous. But yeah, so me knowing that has given me an extra sort of, an extra level of empowerment, as you say.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing that. Kenneth, what surprised you about the process in terms of getting better?
As you say, I was hopeful. I wasn't scared, but I still didn't really probably think I would get better. That's probably. I was willing to give it a try, and I knew you were going to help. You were going to do your best to help me, so I wasn't skeptical on that or worried in that sense. But I was skeptical of actually working on me, because I was like, from where I was, pretty low, pretty in a pretty low state, not sleeping, not functioning properly at all, going to work, but just going to work because I had to, what I mean, not because I was just like struggling through. So, yeah, that's what I was saying. I didn't, so what shocked me that is like, I did slowly get better. That's what shocked me. Yeah, I didn't think I would, and it was slow progress. I mean, it's like not just a chalk. It's like do what things you tell you. Start off, talk to you, do what you discuss it with you, do what you tell me to do in terms of techniques, breathing, and getting up and doing all this, and not knowing it's not damaging you. It's the perception. Thinking about that, but it took time to work to get that out and round in my head. at the start, when I was hearing it at the start, and I was lying in bed, my heart, my heart was really beat, my heartbeat was way up. And I actually went to the hospital thinking at the very start, thinking I had a heart problem. You know what I mean? Because my heart was beating, and they told me, they checked and they said that you don't have a heart problem. So and I realised it was the perception of tinnitus that was making. So now, yeah, I don't, my heart doesn't beat when I hear tinnitus. You know what I mean? So when I'm lying in bed, it doesn't. I don't. When I'm in bed now, I'm mainly asleep, and I hear it. I don't. I'm not. I'm not getting too overexcited.
That's powerful, to say that from the beginning, you actually felt that you had a heart problem
I did, yeah,
because your heart was beating, your heart rate must have been so high,
yeah,
enough for you to go to the hospital. And actually, now knowing that you can lie in bed and your heart rate has come down is
yeah.
so wonderful to hear. What else has changed in your life? So I know sleep was a massive part there. How are you sleeping now? How are you functioning now? Socializing, going to work. How are things now today?
Well, sleep. Yeah, start with sleep. That was obviously the bit. I wasn't because I didn't sleep at all at the start. Yeah, my circadian rhythm was completely. I wasn't getting to sleep. I thought I wasn't. I couldn't go to sleep. I just wasn't tired at night, and I wasn't. I was just lying there, and I might drift off. 2, 3 in the morning or something. But it was pretty awful. So my sleep now, yeah. So I was talking with you and was working out, making sure I would get up at the same time every morning, not going to bed until I'm tired, and nothing in the room. I don't have anything in my room. No screens, no TV, no phone. Uh, so yeah, I go to sleep like that now, and with no sounds. And we talked. I was masking at the start with masking music, and then I did it by accident once, not use it. And you told me to try and get off the masking music. I didn't. I was like, yeah, I never thought that'd be possible. I thought that I'll never ever be able to go to sleep without masking music. I thought that's just impossible. But now I don't have any masking music at all when I'm lying in bed. When I'm in bed. So I was, yeah. So I get to sleep quickly now. Just straight away, basically. Um, I get, whatever, a decent amount of hours. I get up early. I get up early-ish. I get up when I wake up. It could be 5, 6 in the morning, but I get up and I get on with my day. So and from then on, yeah, I don't. It doesn't. Tinnitus doesn't affect my day at all now, and it doesn't affect my sleep either. So on that end, uh, that's all fine. And before, as I told you before, when I was going out, I was still managing to maintain going out to the pub and that, because I knew I had to keep. I knew I had to keep fighting. That's one thing I did myself. I knew I had to keep fighting to socialize because I knew if it robbed me of socializing, I'd be. I'm sure that happens to people. I know it does, but I knew that was a dangerous thing. I'm not saying to go to the pub, but I'm just saying you have to keep socializing. So I kept socializing, but at the start, it was like all I was thinking in the pub was I got tinnitus. I got tinnitus. I was talking to people, but in the back of my mind, it was like, I've got tinnitus. I've got tinnitus. I couldn't hear it because it was so noisy in the pub or just loud. But I was just thinking, I've got tinnitus. You don't. I've got tinnitus. You don't. And now I'm not thinking that when I'm in the pub. I'm more relaxed and more. What's the word? What's the word I'm looking for? There. What?
Is it carefree or just
No. What's the word? In the moment. There's what's the word?
present?
Present, that's the word, present. Yeah, present, yeah, present. I wasn't present before, and now I'm more present in the pub, yeah.
Brilliant. That's so wonderful to hear. So good. And if somebody, let's say somebody stopped you in the streets and said, "Oh, I've got tinnitus, it's just started, I feel stuck, I feel scared." What would be the one thing that you'd advise them to do or not do, maybe?
Me personally, what would I advise them to do? Well, I would ask them only because I can go. My first thing I would ask them is, "How are you sleeping?" Is what I would ask them, and if they said they're not sleeping, I would say, "Well, you've got to get that. You've got to do something about that. That's the first thing you've got to do." And you've got to try and get to a stage where you're not. If you're masking at night, you've got to try and get to a stage where you're not masking. So I would say if they said they weren't sleeping, I would say you've got to try and get. That's the main thing. Focus on that. Try and get work. You've got to get your sleep hygiene sorted. And if they said they were sleeping and they were still struggling with it, then I would say, well, I would recommend you or something. I would say you've got to, you've got to seek some kind of help, some kind of training, someone who knows what they're talking about, someone who'll guide you through it. To because I can't really do that, but I could help them get to sleep, I think. But yeah, I would recommend someone professional to talk to help them with their day. But if they were sleeping, it's a big step forward. That's one thing. For me, anyway, that's one thing. If you can sleep properly, it help. Well, works at night and it helps your day because you're not worried about the night. I was worried about the night the whole time. Oh God, I'm going to hear my tinnitus all night. I'm going to be lying there all night. But now, when I'm tired at night and I just go to bed. I don't really. If I hear it, I'm so tired anyway that I just fall asleep. So that's a big help.
Incredible. It's incredible to just, have even been a part of your journey here to see the progress that you've made. And Kenneth, I think also massive what's the word I'm looking for? I think we really need to consider how determined you were, how consistent you were. You showed up, you were always willing to try. Um,
Yeah.
is there anyone that you would say this is not suited for, this type of approach, this type of tinnitus coaching? Would you say there is anyone that maybe isn't ready for this?
Well, I know a lot of people. I know a lot of different people. I'm trying to think who wouldn't be good for it. Yeah. Well, people who maybe have, say, this is one thing. You just asked me this question, but have a drink problem or something, or a substance abuse problem or something that is affecting their lives anyway. Because you do need to be determined at the start. You do need to have some kind of focus. You do need to be willing to get better. So people who have other distractions that are, that's just a thing off the top of my head. That people who've got drink problems. I do know lots of people who do have drink problems. So these people they wouldn't be able to. They wouldn't be able to sort this out if they didn't sort that out. So people who, yeah, I don't know. That's one thing. I'm just off the top of my head. People who have big, major problems in their life. I suppose that's what you're saying. Yeah, people. If you have major problems, you need to get them sorted. Anyway, but you need to get them sorted out to help you sort out tinnitus as well, because you wouldn't be able to. I don't think use coaching properly and do it if you had so much other stuff in your life that was affecting you.
I think that's such a powerful thing you've just said there, because a lot of people, when they get tinnitus for the first time, they think, oh, this is the problem. I've got to solve this. And they don't recognize that some of these major issues, whether that is severe anxiety or severe, diagnosed depression that they're not dealing with, how that
Yeah,
can have an impact on their progress with tinnitus. So it's important, like you say, that they need to get that sorted, either alongside it or first, for sure.
yeah. Yes, yeah, exactly. Yeah, they've got severe problems there with their mind, or these things need to be sorted out hand in hand, or and sorted out. Yeah, I can't. You wouldn't be able to move on with tinnitus if you had these problems going on at the same time.
Just a couple more questions, if that's okay, Kenneth. What did you find in coaching with myself that you weren't able to necessarily find elsewhere?
Well, as I say, you were the main person I went to. I looked elsewhere, and I looked at other people online, doctors and things, reputable people, saying a few things about it, but they weren't. I knew I had to actually go through with it. I couldn't just listen to a wee speech on a video and tell me about things. I needed to talk to someone face to face and listen to what you had to say. Uh, so yeah, that was the main thing. And having someone there, it's having someone there for you. I knew you were there for me to help me. So and at the start, I was like, I was messaging. You were telling me to message you every day about my sleep and everything and how I was doing. So that was helpful as well. Just because before I'd be, I'd dealing with myself and not. So even telling you that I didn't sleep or telling you that I maybe slept, at least I knew I had someone in my corner. That was a big thing for me.
I completely forgot about those messages.
Yeah,
I forgot. It
yeah,
feels so long ago. I know it was only a few months ago, but gosh, yeah, the difference to, the latter stages of our coaching, yeah, you've made huge progress, Kenneth, huge, huge progress. And if you had an opportunity, what would you tell a past version of yourself who was struggling? From where you are now, what would you tell your past self?
I would say there is. Well, I would say there is hope. Don't give up. Don't. As I say, I didn't. I didn't think I would ever cycle again. I thought I wouldn't have the motivation to do it, and I am doing it. So there is hope that you can get better. You can improve. You can have a decent level of day. You can get asleep. It's not these things. You can get better.
Thank you so, so much. I cannot tell you how helpful this will be to so many people. I get so many messages and people saying, I just want to hear a success story. I want to hear of somebody who has gone through this. And this was very recent for you,
Yeah.
so thank you so much for sharing this because
Well, hopefully, yeah. I want to help people. Yeah. Hopefully, get somebody gets something out of it. Yeah.
I know they will for sure, for sure. So thank you so much.